10 soul prodigies. Gone before 30. Every single one of them left music behind that still hits different. You're going to hear names you know, and some you should know. But the last one on this list,
I will never, never let you go.
he never even got to hold his album in his hands. That's where we're going. Stay with me. Number 10, Linda Jones. Died age 27. 1972. Linda Jones. And if you don't know her name, you need to stop and ask yourself how that happened. Because in the late 60s, this woman was singing circles around everyone. You've probably heard the song, Hypnotized. A gospel-drenched, guttural, full-body vocal performance that people called one of the most raw things to ever come out of a recording studio. Gladys Knight talked about her. Aretha Franklin talked about her. And when those two women say your name, you're doing something right. But here's what you might not know. When Linda recorded Hypnotized, she didn't read the lyric sheet carefully. She sang hypnotized, not hypnotized. Hypnotized. And Loma Records, they pressed it. They shipped it. That mispronunciation went out to radio stations across the country. And you know what? Nobody cared. Because her voice was so powerful, so completely in control of every person listening, that they just sang it back the same wrong way. That's the kind of singer she was. You didn't notice the imperfection, you just felt the thing. In 1972, Linda Jones collapsed at the Apollo Theater. Diabetic coma, she was 27 years old. And the tragedy isn't just that she was gone too soon. It's that she was just beginning to figure out exactly what she could do. Like if you've ever watched someone operate at a level that shouldn't be possible, doing something so effortlessly brilliant it makes you stop mid-sentence. That's what watching Linda Jones perform looked like. We got a glimpse of something that was supposed to last decades. Number 9 is next, and this one might surprise you. Number 9, Dyke Christian, Dyke and the Blazers. Died age 27. 1971. Now here's a name that doesn't get nearly enough air, but the music is everywhere. Because in 1967, Dyke Christian and the Blazers released Funky Broadway. And that title matters more than you think. That was the first song to chart with the word funky in the title. Not a cover, not a remix, the original. First one. They put that word on the map. Wilson Pickett later covered it and had a bigger hit. And that's one of those industry stories that still stings a little to tell. Dyke did it first, Dyke did it harder. But Pickett had the machine behind him. That's the music business at its most honest. I'll let you decide if that was right or wrong, but here's what hits different about Dyke's story. By 1971, he was about to make his biggest move yet. He had a UK tour booked. Barry White was going to be on that same bill. Two of the most compelling presences in black music, and about to take their sound to England. And then, on a night in Phoenix, Arizona, someone shot him. Just like that. Dead at 27. Tupac sampled his music decades later. That's how deep the groove ran. 30 years after Phoenix, one of the most significant artists in hip-hop reached back and found Dyke Christian's sound and said, "This is the one." If you've ever heard something so raw it just settles into your chest, you know what Dyke was making. And you know how much more there should have been. Number 8 changed the sound of pop radio, and then lost everything because of biology. Number 8, Frankie Lymon. Died, age 25, 1968. This one starts at a place most artists never even reach. 13 years old, standing in front of a microphone in New York City. And what comes out of him is, "Why Do Fools Fall in Love?" A song so perfectly constructed, so emotionally honest, that it's still on the radio today. The Teenagers with Frankie Lymon were the first black group with a genuine mainstream crossover. Not R&B crossing over into an R&B audience. Mainstream, pop, everybody. He was 13. Let that land for a second. By 15, he was touring Europe, topping charts, sharing stages with adults twice his age who couldn't touch what he was doing.
Why do birds sing so gay?
The industry, record labels, promoters, managers, they saw a prodigy and they saw a vehicle, and they drove it hard. Then puberty happened. His voice changed, and here's the part that still gets me. The industry that had built an entire machine around his gift, that had made millions off a 13-year-old boy, I walked away, dropped him. Because the thing that made him extraordinary had shifted. The way voices do, the way bodies do, the way life does. And nobody around him helped him find what was next. He spent years chasing what used to be easy. In 1968, they found him on the floor of his grandmother's apartment in Harlem. Heroin overdose. 25 years old. A kid who had been extraordinary since before most people know what extraordinary means. That's not just tragedy. That's a system failing a child it already used up. Number 7 missed his biggest moment by a single night.
Tell me why.
Let's look at the numbers. Only 9% of you are actually subscribed. Honestly, that's tough to see. Our team spends days hunting down archives and verifying every single fact just to tell these stories right. If you've made it this far into the video, you're clearly part of the community, so please hit subscribe. It costs nothing and helps us immensely. Now, for those already subscribed, very few of you have made the jump to our membership, and that's a hard pill to swallow because you're the ones who know our value best. If this channel has moved you or inspired you, consider joining. It's the price of one coffee, but it's the literal fuel for this channel. Let's keep this alive together. Back to the story. Number 7. Rudy Lewis, The Drifters. Died age 27, 1964.
Can he take you home? You must tell him no.
Depending on how deep you go with the Drifters, you either know this name or you're about to feel something complicated. Rudy Lewis was the lead voice of the Drifters during what a lot of people consider their peak years.
So darling, save the last day.
Up on the Roof, on Broadway. If you've ever sat with those songs, and I mean really sat with them, not just let them play in the background, you know those vocals are something else. Warm, searching, like exactly the kind of voice you want for a 2 a.m. conversation you're not ready to
But
have.
don't forget who's taking you home, and in those arms you're gonna be.
Now here's the part. May of 1964, the Drifters were scheduled to record a new song. The session was set. The musicians were ready. And that night, the night before the recording, Rudy Lewis was found dead in his Harlem hotel room. He was 27. The full circumstances were never made clear.
That the music's fine, like sparkling wine. Go and have it fun.
The next morning, they brought in Johnny Moore. Moore went into that studio and recorded Under the Boardwalk, one of the most beloved R&B songs ever pressed to vinyl. And the world never quite made the connection that the voice they expected to hear that day was already gone.
So darling, sing the last dance for me.
Think about the timing of that. One night separating a man from what should have been his defining moment. One night. And if you've ever come that close to something, really close, and then watch someone else step into that space, You don't need me to tell you what that particular feeling is, even if you're experiencing it for someone else, on their behalf. Number 6 collapsed on stage, and someone she trusted caught her.
Taking you home and in his arms you're gonna be.
Number 6, Tammi Terrell. Died age 24. 1970. Before we get into this, I need you to hear this clearly. Tammi Terrell was 24 years old when she died. 24. You know the music. Ain't no mountain high enough. Your precious love. Ain't nothing like the real thing.
I'll be there on the double, just send for me, oh babe.
Those Marvin Gaye and Tammi Terrell duets weren't just hits. They were conversations. Two voices in dialogue so natural, so completely present with each other, that listening to them still feels like overhearing something private. If you grew up with that music in your house, you know exactly what I mean. October 1967. Tammi is on stage at Hampton University in Virginia. She's mid-performance when something goes wrong. She collapses, and Marvin Gaye, standing right there, catches her. That image, think about it. He catches her.
I made a vow, I'll be there when you want me.
What followed was a nightmare that stretched over 2 years. A brain tumor, 8 surgeries. 8, and each one taking more than the last. The woman who could harmonize with anyone on earth, who could make a lyric feel like a secret just between you two, spent her final years in and out of hospital beds. She died on March 16, 1970, 2 weeks before her 25th birthday. 2 weeks. Marvin Gaye never performed their duets live again. Not once.
I told you you could always count on me, darling, from that day on.
In interviews over the years, he talked about how much making that music had cost him emotionally, how close they had been, like how that night at Hampton University changed something in him he couldn't name. Some losses are just that clean, that permanent. Number 5 wrote a song someone else made famous, then drowned at 29. Number 5, Shorty Long. Died, age 29. 1969. I'm willing to bet this is the name on this list you know the least, which is exactly the problem. Frederick Earl Long, Motown's Soul Records. 1968, he puts out Here Comes the Judge. Rides a pop culture wave. The phrase was everywhere on Rowan and Martin's Laugh-In. And Shorty gets it to number 4 on the R&B chart, number 8 on the pop chart. Legitimate hit. The kind of moment that's supposed to be a launching pad. But here's what most people don't know. Before all that, before Here Comes the Judge, before the chart positions, Shorty Long wrote Devil with the Blue Dress On. That song, the one you've heard 100 times at every party, every reunion, every wedding reception where someone finally puts on something with some life in it. Shorty Long wrote it, he recorded it first, and Mitch Ryder and the Detroit Wheels turned it into an arena anthem that most people think of as a rock song. And you know how that goes. Doing the work, creating the thing, watching someone else walk away with the reward. That doesn't get easier just because you eventually have your own moment. June 1969. Shorty Long was out on the Detroit River in a motorboat. Something went wrong. He drowned, 29 years old, 1 year from 30. Stevie Wonder placed a harmonica in his casket. Marvin Gaye, who had championed him inside Motown for years, couldn't process it. Because Shorty Long was about to have a real run. Everybody around him could feel it. Number 4 pulled a trigger he didn't know was loaded on Christmas Day. Number 4, Johnny Ace. Died, age 25, 1954.
I'll never part from you.
I want you to prepare yourself for this one, because the story ends on Christmas Day. John Marshall Alexander Jr., Memphis, Tennessee.
Is my goal. I'll forever love you.
By 1954, he was one of the biggest names in R&B. 5 consecutive top 10 hits, a touring schedule that would exhaust anyone, a stage presence that commanded every room he walked into.
Your love in return.
Cashbox magazine named him the most programmed R&B artist of 1954. You know what that means. Every radio station, every jukebox. On his voice in rooms he'd never been in.
To keep love and to hold, making you happy.
December 25th, 1954, Houston, Texas. Between sets at a concert, backstage, relaxed, the night going well, someone had a .32 caliber pistol.
Always and
The chamber was
forever.
empty. He was playing with it, spinning it, the way people do when they don't think the danger is real. It was loaded. He was 25 years old.
Just promise me, darling.
And here's the part that still doesn't sit right. The day he died, he had a song in the pipeline, Pledging My Love.
My heart's at your command, dear.
They released it anyway, and that posthumous single went to number 1 on the R&B chart. Stayed there for 10 weeks, his biggest hit. The song that would define his name for generations. He never heard it on the radio, not once. The recognition he should have felt, the reaction from fans, the moment of sitting with something and knowing, this is the one. All of it arrived at a grave.
Your command, dear. To keep love and to.
That's not just a sad ending. That's a particular kind of injustice that doesn't have a proper name. Number 3 was set up to be a legend, and somebody made sure that didn't happen.
Just promise me, darling.
Number 3, Jesse Belvin. Died age 27. 1960. Jesse Belvin, and I need you to lean in for this one. You know Earth Angel, the Penguins. That slow, aching, perfect song. A doo-wop record that crossed every line radio had in 1954. Jesse Belvin co-wrote it. And Good Night My Love, the song Alan Freed used to close his radio show every single night. Millions of people across the country heard that song as the last thing before bed for years. Jesse Belvin wrote it, sang it, owned it. RCA Records signed him in the late 50s. They were grooming him as the next Nat King Cole. That's not hyperbole. That's what they said. The voice, the sophistication, the crossover appeal. He was 27 years old and the path was completely clear. February 1960. Jesse and his wife Joanne were in Little Rock, Arkansas. He had just headlined the first integrated concert in that city's history, in the Jim Crow South, and in a city that had watched federal troops escort black students into Central High School just 2 years earlier. Jesse walked out on that stage anyway. 6 death threats before the show. He performed anyway. That night, driving home, their car crashed. The state trooper who investigated said the tires had been, and I want to be precise here, obviously tampered with. Joanne was rushed to a hospital. She was denied treatment. She died later that night. Etta James called Jessie Belvin the most gifted of her entire generation. Stevie Wonder said he was his all-time favorite artist, and he was gone at 27, on a road where someone had made a choice. Some deaths are accidents. Some are decisions other people made. Number 2, Otis Redding. Died, age 26, 1967.
Folks so gentle, yeah.
Before you say you already know this one, stay with me. Because there's a detail about how this ended that I think about more than the crash itself. By December 1967, Otis Redding had done something almost nobody else in soul music had managed. He'd crossed over completely. Not just R&B, pop, rock, everything. His set at the Monterey Pop Festival that summer had introduced him to an entirely new audience. None people who hadn't known his name 6 months earlier were now calling him the greatest live performer alive.
Try your little tenderness, yeah.
December 7th, 1967. He went into the studio and recorded Sittin' on the Dock of the Bay. A song unlike anything he'd made before. Quieter, more introspective, built around the sound of waves and a melody that felt like watching the water from somewhere you didn't plan to stay.
Oh, man.
He told his producer Steve Cropper he wanted it to feel like the Beatles. And you can hear it, that openness, that space. 3 days later, his plane went down into Lake Monona in Wisconsin. He was 26 years old.
What she has.
Dock of the Bay came out January 1968, the first posthumous single in history to top both the pop and the R&B charts simultaneously. His biggest hit, the song that would define him forever.
Never possess, no. But wow.
And here's the detail that won't let me go. That whistling at the end of the record, the part everyone knows, the part that feels like exhaling, that was a placeholder. He hadn't written the words for that section yet. He was coming back to finish it. He never came back. The Beatles canceled a London show to attend a memorial for him. Number 1, Baby Huey. James Thomas Ramey. Died age 26. 1970. Baby Huey, James Thomas Ramey. And this is the one the title promised you. Baby Huey never released an album in his lifetime, not one. And I need you to understand what that means, because this isn't a case of someone who didn't get a chance. This is a case of someone who absolutely, clearly, undeniably had the gift. And the world almost missed it entirely. He was big. 350, 400 pounds, depending on who you ask. Glandular disorder. He performed in diapers and a bonnet as part of the act. A character, a persona, but underneath that was something that could stop a room cold. Baby Huey and the Babysitters were tearing up the Chicago circuit in the late 60s. Raw soul, funk, a stage presence that nobody who saw it could fully explain with normal words. Donny Hathaway recommended him to Curtis Mayfield. Let that land, Donny Hathaway, one of the most discerning ears in the history of this music, pointed at Baby Huey and said, "You need to hear this man."
So I'm running, trying to find me.
Curtis Mayfield signed him to Curtum Records. They started working on an album, and then heroin, and then a drug-related heart attack on October 28, 1970. 26 years old.
Still running, mama.
The album came out in 1971, Posthumous. And here's where the story turns into something else entirely, because that album became a cornerstone of hip-hop. Ice Cube sampled it, while A Tribe Called Quest sampled it. Ghostface Killah, Biz Markie. The music that Baby Huey never got to hear on a shelf, never got to hold in a sleeve, never got to watch chart. That music built other people's careers for the next 30 years. And after he died, his spot in The Babysitters? It went to a teenage girl from Chicago named Chaka Khan. He never heard any of it, not a single note of what came after.
Trying to find her like a thief.